So my point is upholding the law is marginally good. Sometimes the law is bad, and that's why it's not always good. In this regard.
So wait, you're saying simply the fact that Marco Rubio exercised his legal authority to do something was good. It's like he had the legal authority to do it. He could have enforced this law as he saw it on anybody. He could have enforced it on a comedian, right? Who's in town and goes on stage and says, "Hey, you know what? I disagree with this or that." Or, "Hey, I just did shows in
Canada,
I just did what?
You're not from Canada.
No, but I just did shows in the UK and Amsterdam, and I made fun of UK politics, made fun of American politics."
You wouldn't dare make fun of Islam, though.
He brought it up, remember? And that means we're going to talk about the jokes that you're talking about, because generally you like to make jokes about Christianity.
Go to the UK and mock Islam. Do it.
Well, I don't have any jokes about Islam.
Why not? They got Pakistani grooming gangs for raping little girls. Why won't you go to the UK?
What?
Why won't you go to the UK and make jokes about Islam?
I don't think it's very funny. I don't have any jokes about it. I'm so confused.
I mean, joking about Catholics is a quite known thing for certain people to mention over and over.
Dude.
Okay, let me help unconfuse you. Are there jokes that can be made about Islam? Yes or no?
Wait, I don't want to. I don't want to go to this particular rabbit hole.
Oh, no. You're terrified. You're a hypocrite.
What?
Are there jokes you can make about Islam? Muhammad banged a little girl, right?
I'm really baffled.
Come on.
I'm
terrified of this subject. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
In the UK, you can be jailed for making jokes about Islam or even bring up the grooming gangs. There are people who go online and pointed out that a stabbing was carried out by a Muslim, and they got arrested for it. I'll bet you $1,000 you will not go to the UK and make a joke about any of that stuff, because you will not go to a foreign country and, in violation of their laws, speak out against what they've said not to speak out against. Do it. I dare you.
This whole idea is stemming right now because Marco Rubio is the one that said, "Yo man, that MS-13 in America, we need to send him back because he broke the law, because he's illegal." So they're talking about laws. He mentions comedy about we need to respect a country's laws. So that's why Tim is like, "Oh, you like comedy, right? And you just went to UK, tada-bim, bada-boom. Do you have jokes for the Islam?"
$10,000. Cash in your pocket if you go to the UK and make a joke about Muhammad having a 12-year-old wife.
This we got here faster than I thought we would in this conversation. Where you're shouting at me about something I don't understand. I don't really understand how you would think it's incumbent upon me.
Do you think anybody watching this right now thinks you are confused by the notion that in the UK you go to jail for mocking Islam?
Nope.
I don't understand how we got onto you shouting at me about Islam specifically. I'd like to return to a point I was trying to make.
You said people should be allowed to come to this country and speak out against it. And you said you're a comedian, and you go to other countries, right? And you said you go to the UK. And I said, okay, if you go to the UK, speak out in violation of their laws and see what happens. And you said, I'm confused. I don't understand. What don't you understand? Will you go to Turkey? Will you go to Turkey and speak out against Islam?
I mean, if I have a joke to make, sure. I don't have a joke about those particular topics.
You would.
I would.
You're saying if you had a joke about.
Oh yeah. Sure. I would try to do the best I can. I always try to poke the bear as much as I can. It's part of the job of a comedian.
Nothing to poke the bear about as it pertains to one of the world's largest religions. I mean, come on.
I mean, I haven't written a joke about that recently.
All right.
So look, hey man, I'm a free speech guy.
So the reason people are covering this right now is because he is only making jokes about certain religion, Christianity.
Bro, Donald Trump dumped food into a fish pond after Shinzo Abe did. Why are you trying to make that a negative story?
I don't even know what that was talking about there.
It's all of these hoaxes. The Very Fine People hoax.
I mean, I remember the line. Yeah,
Trump never called Nazis fine people.
He said there were very fine people on both sides,
except the neo-Nazis and white nationalists who should be condemned totally.
He said that.
Surprised you didn't know that.
And you had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group. Excuse me. I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
Why the heck something debunked so long ago? A clip cut out of context and people are still defending it religiously. If I had this, oh my god, I admire their passion with this information. Dilo, remember to subscribe.
¿Por qué?
He said that?
Holy shit. Brother, it is...
I don't live in your bubble, man. I don't...
You're in the bubble. I'm like, no.
You don't live in the news, dude. Come the on. You don't read the fucking news. This is what blows my mind.
No, I just don't have I don't have your
No,
obsessions.
Trump did not call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. Bro, it's been almost 10 years and you still think he did.
You live in a bubble.
No. No way. No.
And the bubble is Minesweeper. You're afraid make the wrong move, a bomb would explode, and they kick you out of the bubble.
That's
No,
what's
I
fucked
didn't
up.
say I think he did. I just don't know what you're talking about because I don't
Joe
I don't
Biden.
listen to your shit.
It's not about listening to my shit, bro. It's reading the news. It's fact-checking. Bro, I got Snopes for you. They're not a conservative publication. Even Snopes was like, guys, stop saying this.
I don't know why you're shouting at me. I was just asking you to explain.
Because the issue we have, and I apologize, because I'm not trying to shout at you. I'm shouting in exasperation.
Keep the same energy. I would shout at him like, yo, bro, we're talking about so long ago. And somebody said it on a huge platform, an important person. Who? Obama.
Who said that there were very fine people on both sides of a white supremacist rally.
He said that, and everybody was like, yo, why would you say that? That was debunked. And you on the left-leaning side don't remember Obama said it? Come on, man, with your condescending face.
That we've had two liberals on in the past 2 weeks who didn't know this. And I'm just like, for the love of all is holy, all I do all day is I read probably 500 news articles every single day from CNN, the New York Times, MSNBC, and all their aggregates. And then liberals come on and they believe things that were debunked 8 years ago.
I didn't say I believed it. I was just asking what you were talking about.
Stop the cap.
You didn't know this.
Yeah, I don't know everything that you know.
But this is what Biden launched his campaign on. Biden made a public announcement to launch his presidency in 2020 off of this lie. And you didn't know that. 5 years later.
I don't know why you're getting on me about this, but
It's again, I apologize. I'm not trying to get on you. It's the exasperation largely with liberals.
I just find it odd that this guy says, I try to counter fake news with my comedy.
Really?
On the left, what do you think would happen if you went and opposed their views at a public forum? You'd be threatened with violence. And I'm not saying literally everyone all the time, but booking liberals to come on my show or any other show, we
have the same problem.
Yeah, they refuse to do it.
They don't want to talk.
Back in, I think it was 2018.
We should say why as well. They're scared of their own side.
Yeah. It's a cult.
What the heck is that, man?
I can sit in front of a libertarian like Dave Smith, who's going to rant about how Israel is bad, and Charlie Kirk at the same time, and we leave with beers in our hands, smiles on our faces. And Dave will say, Charlie, I really do appreciate it. I think you do good work. I know we disagree. The left doesn't do that. They firebomb your buildings. Or they just don't show up. Or they try to get you fired. They SWAT you. They harass you.
I find it odd in their own party they cancel you faster. There are people sometimes attacks you with way more dangerous skills. Sometimes they were like, yeah, we have the right to protest. But the moment somebody protests on the other side, sometimes it's not even at the right. They might be centrist. That will be labeled the right.
Don't do it.
And you are a threat to their democracy. How can you be a threat to a democracy when you don't have a voice, but a person can be like, I have the right to protest. I'm like, just keep the same energy.
The struggle was real.
But I ask because, do you feel like you're part of a new establishment that's being created?
I don't think I'm part of a new establishment. I think it would be pretty difficult to look at these podcasts. I know it's a popular thing right now, especially in certain media circles, to say that after running an incredibly unpopular candidate who was introduced very late in the race because an elderly man who could not be the president, who everyone told was functioning as the president for 4 years, decided to, this wind is wild, huh?
Yeah.
See? But this was a very specific circumstance in which Kamala Harris ran for the presidency.
Yeah.
She was somewhat unpopular, and she was not a star in Democratic politics before this at all. And her communication strategy was pretty weak. I think most people have admitted that. So to hang this defeat all on a few podcasts and to say that they were the problem.
Thank you, Tim Dillon, for articulating it in a very nice way.
I just don't buy the narrative. So I don't think I'm a new establishment. If you weigh, again, a few comedians with podcasts versus all of the people that supported Kamala Harris, you know, Democrat donors, billionaires, big people, if the idea is that me and a few comedians have more power than multi-billionaires, huge media institutions, a whole political party apparatus, I just don't think most people are going to buy that. I think it seems like a great way to excuse running an unpopular candidate on a platform that American people weren't sold on.
I mean, he has a point.
That was unnecessarily mean.
You took one of your weakest candidates and told everybody it's your strongest candidate, which will cover most of the talking point that the majority of the people didn't agree with. And you lost? And you just want to blame the podcast that most men are listening to? I don't know.
I think even beyond politics, though, even beyond the question of the election, like, again, I know the, like, liberal Joe Rogan conversation is so dominant and I think not, like, nuanced enough. But there is power in a massive audience.
There's absolutely power in a massive audience, but if you're saying that that power is equal to the CIA or all of these other people that have been very critical of President Trump, right?
Yeah.
So the idea that, like, the power that Theo Von has would be equal to, like, the intelligence agencies or these massive legacy media institutions seems crazy.
Hey, could you stop saying that, please?
If Kamala was invited to go on Joe Rogan podcast and all she did is pay other people to build a new room in a different location so they can do a podcast that isn't like really live but cut up here and there, you had the opportunity to do something so people can see you in an honest way. And what did you do?
I can't this year.
Let's just forget it.
Yeah.
You canceled because you thought your narrative will bring you there with the choice that the people didn't make, but you know what's better for them. And still, you don't want to talk about the popular vote.
Oh, it's a long story.
But you got way more audience than, like when you're saying we don't have power, we're not the CIA. Well, you know, there's some gradations between that, and also I'm sure there's like.
Well, just you use the word establishment.
Yeah.
I didn't say that we didn't have any power or that audiences weren't powerful. But when you use the term establishment, I think that that's more than just having an audience. That's having an institutional component that I don't think we have. But I think legacy media does. I think the government and the intelligence communities do. I think Hollywood certainly does. And I think all of those people, all of those power factions have worked together for a very, very, very long time. So to say that a few comedians with podcasts equal that seems crazy.
I see
to
why
me.
you say, okay, I understand.
That's the only thing I'm saying.
I would say this: if a few comedians can get a vote away from you, instead of pointing your finger at them, maybe you need to think about what you might be doing, which makes them more interested in a comedian that is talking about the news.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Durlo que ta verde ta welcome.